Okay, so there's a lot of important developments surrounding Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks that just a couple days ago was arrested and is setting a very dangerous precedent for press freedoms all over the world, especially since, he's an Australian citizen being trying to be extradited to the United States. Well, there's a lot of updates in that specific case. There's leaked photos of him and dirty dishes. There's a whole bunch of websites being hacked right now, which of course we're going to explain in this video. But largely, the outcome has been a lot of disdain towards U.S. President Donald Trump that is still downplaying that he even knew WikiLeaks, that he even knew Julian Assange. And of course, many people are pointing to the major perpetrator of his detention right now, and even somewhat of a supporter of Donald Trump, especially his anti-establishment, anti-globalist policies. Ron Paul, former congressman, former presidential candidate, even came out and said that this is an issue that, of course, is making him not support Donald Trump, even posting on his own website an article that said, quote, "I'm jumping off the Trump train. Assange was the last straw." Specifically also saying, as long as Assange is in prison, that, quote, "we are all in prison," saying specifically saying, quote, "repressive governments do not want their citizens to know what they are up to, so they insist on controlling the media. We are taught at the same time that we have a free press whose job is to uncover the corruption in our system so that we can demand our political leaders make some changes or face unemployment. That we are all told is what makes us different from the totalitarian. The arrest of Assange is a canary in a coal mine to warn us that something is very wrong with our system." And I couldn't agree more. The number of inconsistencies, the numbers of just instances where the legal experts have to stretch certain situations, which again, we're going to even expand on even more with the latest revelations to make this case stick. The inconsistencies point to a bigger systemic issue, which I believe is retribution against the published information that made the U.S. government, specifically Clinton, specifically a whole bunch of other power establishment players, look really bad. Assange right now is held at what is deemed Britain's own Guantanamo Bay, as of course the United Nations is urging a fair trial, as he is facing one trial from the British government where he allegedly went against his bail, and another court case with, of course, the extradition to the United States. Now, how this situation will unfold will most likely be like all the other events have unfolded with Julian Assange, just the twisting, manipulating of the law in order to put him in a bad situation, which, of course, again, I believe personally is retribution for all the work that he has done before, pissing off a lot of power establishment people, because let's call it out. That's really what this is all about. But that's not the issues that, of course, you're hearing, as even this Zero Hedge article titles itself saying "useful idiots on parade," and that is definitely something that I would resonate with and agree with when it comes to just some of the coverage from establishment types, which of course have also the same connections to the people that Julian Assange made look bad. I wonder how they're going to try to make him look bad, and what they're doing right now is pretty crazy, because they're releasing photos, the Ecuadorian government, specific surveillance photos of Julian Assange with a dirty plate. Looks like he's cooking something, a normal bathroom, or normal kitchen, and they are calling this a fetid lair. That this was the full squalor, the full horror that drove the embassy staff to kick Julian Assange out. Now, if you look at this, ultimately, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, if you live in a place, there's sometimes you take some time off and you don't clean the dishes, maybe for a day or two. I mean, maybe, but the amount of, I mean, why are we even talking about this? Hold on. Why is this right here? Why is this a topic of discussion when we have literally the elements of free speech to talk about? Look, the bathroom looks like a clean bathroom. This is what they're, I mean, look, they closed down this damn, where he was staying with literally duct tape on there, and they're calling this the horror, the fetid lair. What is wrong with these crazy people in the Ecuadorian government releasing this as some kind of proof, and it's not, as it's been revealed how the British and Ecuadorian government have been working with the United States, plotting for 6 months to have Julian Assange arrested, after, of course, having a number of secret talks that, of course, all started with U.S. Attorney Jeff Sessions under Donald Trump putting more charges on WikiLeaks and Julian Assange under secret grand jury indictments, which we know that there are more of, because obviously everything is here done in secrecy. Why not? Why not do everything in secrecy when you have a guy that just, his character could be questionable, doesn't matter. He still ultimately kicked the establishment, preferably in the balls, and showed the world, kind of unpants them, and showed the world what kind of true things happen. And he exposed a lot of corruption, and even the assassination of journalists that the United States government covered up. Now, it's important to understand he's been doing this for a very long time. Julian Assange also helped crack Australian child pornography ring. There's been other leaks that he revealed, especially with the CIA, showing how the CIA could conduct hacking operations and make them appear like foreign governments committed them. This is important to understand here, because this is a revelation from WikiLeaks itself that I believe is worth considering when we look at a lot of the bigger news and information we get about cyber attacks and hacker attacks, and questioning the validity of them from establishment sources that, of course, have been lying to us many times before, with, of course, just even entertaining the possibility of some of those false flags being some of those hacking attacks being false flags. Those ideas are not entertained, but should be entertained, as, of course, I will lead into the next article that talks about how Ecuador's president is saying that mainly now that he was revoked asylum because he used the embassy as a, quote, center of spying. I would love to see some evidence. I thought it was the dirty dishes, but now it's the embassy used as center for spying. Now, I'm not saying there's actually no merit to this. It could be possible, but I do believe there's more merit into thinking about how, the IMF just approved a $4.2 billion loan to Ecuador. The IMF, of course, being a major economic weapon for the United States. And again, this loan that was just approved for Ecuador, I think, is a lot more conclusive than all the other bull crap that we're hearing from Ecuador and the dirty dishes. And as many people, I believe, are correctly pointing out, that Assange is pretty much just a scapegoat, just a distraction for a very scandal-ridden Ecuadorian government, which, by the way, has been hacked previously, before, and released compromising information to, of course, corruption by the same Ecuadorian president, and also even a photo of him sitting at a very fancy bed at a very fancy hotel with a bunch of lobster dishes right in front of him, as, of course, Ecuador is going through many financial hurdles and problems in their own country. And the previous hack revealed 200 private emails, texts, and documents that were called the INA papers, which, of course, WikiLeaks published, and showed the Ecuadorian president on lavish European vacations, as many people are struggling economically in his country. Now, of course, WikiLeaks published the documents, but of course, there is no evidence proving that they were a part of these leaks in any way. There's also interesting news about someone connected to Julian Assange who was also arrested trying to leave Ecuador. This, of course, happened on April 12th. It's important to understand also that Ecuador as a country and a lot of their institutions were also hacked, as reported on April 13th, 2019, including several government websites, in what many people are believing to be retribution for, of course, Julian Assange's arrest, to kind of symbolically protest, of course, his detention and most likely soon extradition to the United States. It's not only happening in Ecuador, it's also happening in the United Kingdom, where now over 1,600 websites have been taken offline with, of course, most likely denial of service attacks, including the Supreme Court and National Crime Agency in the United Kingdom, which many believe are retribution by hacktivists trying to, of course, cost these government institutions some money with, of course, denying them the use of their services. And allegedly, this is all done in a way to be more efficient than, of course, just street protest, according to some of the alleged people who are taking part in these larger actions, which some people are actually even just blaming on Julian Assange, even though he is in detention in what they're describing as the British Guantanamo Bay, which Cassandra Fairbanks, another journalist here, responds with, do you think he's doing the hacks from jail with a pen and telepathy? Which is a good response to some of just the shenanigans and some of the lunacy around this entire case. Some anonymous Twitter accounts even posted, "Free Assange or chaos is coming for you," posting, of course, to this recent hacks. And will there be more? Well, I think so. Because, of course, Julian Assange is seen as a martyr for, of course, publishing information that made governments and corporations look bad. Pretty much doing what journalism should be doing. But he's the one, of course, that all of this attention is on. He's the one, of course, that is in jail. And no matter what you may think of his character or who he is or how many dirty plates he leaves in the sink, whatever you may think of the man, we all understand that this case is a lot bigger than just him. And as we're going to find out more about the hacking and soon the more hacking to come, as all of this happening, to me, on face value of everything that I've seen, on everything that we're looking at, and everything that I could confirm, this is still an issue. Should a publication be able to publish information that a government and corporation does not want it to? This is, to me, the bigger case here. What do you think? Do you disagree with me? Let me know why in the comment section below. And thank you for all you amazing human beings who support us and allow me to live a free and independent life, researching, doing homework, busting my butt, being able to do this for you by simply purchasing a t-shirt on teesprings.com/stores/wearechange. The link will be in the description below. And by supporting us, by buying a t-shirt, we still exist. And we're still fully independent. And that's why I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.